I don't even know where to begin with this whole J. Cole fiasco. I'm just going to assume that you're aware of everything that's transpired, and I'm going to skip all of the details and just get right to it. I want to start with when 7 Minute Drill first dropped. I immediately made a video giving my thoughts that I posted to my Instagram and TikTok where I said I thought the diss track was weak. It's a good song. It has good bars. It has a good beat. It's a good song, but as a diss track, I felt like it was weak. And it was weak because of how complimentary J. Cole was being to Kendrick Lamar. My comments were flooded with people saying I just don't get it. It was a nod to Takeover by Jay-Z, and it was just a warning shot and blah, blah, blah. But I had to sit the old heads down and let them know that just because somebody flips a few lines from Takeover doesn't automatically make it a good diss track and give the person a dub. In Takeover, Jay-Z said that Nas made Illmatic and it was a classic. And then everything since then is trash. He sucks and he fell off. He barely puts music out and there was no positivity. It was you started out hot, Illmatic was dope. Everything else sucks and you're trash. You fell off. Cole was going album by album through Kendrick Lamar's discography and named half of his albums as classics as recently as Damn in 2017. You don't compliment the person you're dissing in the middle of a diss track. J. Cole even admitted himself he was trying to throw a jab but also be complimentary. I don't need to be a hip hop connoisseur. I don't need to be a rapper myself to know that that makes no sense. You either diss somebody or you don't. You don't diss somebody and at the same time try to throw them compliments and be like, no, your discography is great and you have classic albums. A lot of people say Mr. Morale wasn't it. A lot of people say that the Hillbillies wasn't it. If you're gonna do Takeover, do Takeover. Say you were great, but now you fell off. Don't compliment their stuff before. Be like, you were good, now you suck. Now you fell off, now you're trash. I'm the guy. I'm better than you now. Don't go through every single album and be like, well, this was good, this was this was this was that. No. You were good. You fell off, you suck, I'm better now. Keep it at that. That is what Takeover was. And the worst part is, he dissed To Pimp a Butterfly, which might have the biggest argument to diss. Like, yes, they gassed it. Like maybe that is the best argument to make between that, Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn as the one to jump at. But he said it puts people to sleep, which J. Cole has no foresight because that is what everybody has criticized him for his entire career. Artist Metro Boomin has tweeted about it. Fans have said it. Most of J. Cole's career, people have said his music puts people to sleep. So how do you not have the foresight to realize that saying that what some people say is like the greatest hip hop album of all time, you're saying it puts people to sleep. You literally put it up on a tee for Kendrick Lamar. You gave him a fast break dunk to respond to you because he's just going to say the same thing back to you. Like, hey, buddy, your music's what's put people to sleep. The in-between shit of I'm going to throw some jabs, but I'm also going to compliment you and say how great you are, just sounds like you have no confidence, just sounds like you're ducking smoke and you're scared. And maybe he wasn't. Like J. Cole probably wasn't, but that's how it comes off. I get it though, regardless of my evaluation of the diss track, I get diehard J. Cole fans are going to defend him and are probably just happy that he stepped in the ring and responded to Kendrick's verse unlike that. But then J. Cole went on stage at Dreamville Fest on Sunday and basically shouted through the microphone, Don Chenz was right. He apologized to Kendrick, said he didn't feel good about it from the jump, and said that he was trying to throw jabs and keep it friendly, which is exactly what I said like it felt like he was doing, which is nonsense. First of all, Kendrick wasn't being friendly. He wasn't bigging up J. Cole. He wasn't bigging up Drake. It is possible to diss somebody that you're cool with, that you don't actually hate, but you keep it rap, keep it competitive, keep it on music, and then when it's over and the dust settles, you go back to being friends. There was no real beef. There were no personal shots taken. It wasn't going to lead to physical violence. The most personal shot that was taken was J. Cole and 7 Minute Drill calling Kendrick Lamar short. That was the most personal and insulting diss to them as people that has occurred so far. Everything else was just music. This song sucks. You're not as good of a rapper as I am. Nothing was personal. There was no beef. So everyone being like, oh, they just have, you want them to fight? You want someone to die? Like, no one's saying violence. No one's calling for violence. No one was expecting violence. No violence was occurring. They were keeping it music. Hip hop is competition. That is what hip hop is based on. They were competing. J. Cole went out of his way to call Kendrick Lamar out by name. Kendrick Lamar responded. J. Cole stepped in the ring and gave an entire diss track in response. Regardless of if he was trying to soften the blow by being complimentary, he entered the ring. Cole probably just didn't believe what he was saying and knew he was capping when he was downplaying Kendrick's discography, but that's like part of rap. I don't think that was the right angle to take on Kendrick. I think that's the one thing you really can't diss him on. His discography is arguably the greatest of all time. I don't think you can diss that. So maybe it was just like a tactical error. But even if you don't believe it, like that's part of the beef. Like some things are true, some things are not, some things are exaggerations, some things are just flat out not true, but you're just talking shit. Nothing, and again, nothing was personal. Nothing was crossing the line. It was fine. I don't know what you need to feel so guilty about. But if you don't actually feel a way about the dude, you don't have anything negative to say. And to be honest, I said this as soon as Like That dropped. I don't think Kendrick said anything that crazy anyway. Most of his shots were directed at Drake. The only shot that was directed at J. Cole was saying, oh, fuck the big three. It's just big me, which is just like saying I'm the best, which is no big deal. Rappers say that in every single song, like ever. So if you don't feel compelled to respond, just don't respond. I don't care if there's peer pressure. Oh, everyone's expecting me to respond. So what? You're a grown man. J. Cole's a grown man. I don't get why everybody is making excuses for him. Like people held him at gunpoint to respond. He didn't need to respond. People want him to respond because it's entertainment. We want to see who we view as the greatest in the game compete against each other. But if he doesn't want to respond or doesn't have anything to say, or just don't respond. Nobody forced him to. He went out of his way, 7 minutes, however long it took him. He had to consciously write the lyrics, record it, do everything, had to sit there and be like, am I going to put this out? And he put it out. You put it out. Nobody made you do that. I don't feel bad for you like you were forced to do it from the peer pressure. That's on you. You're a grown man. You made that choice. You have to live with it. And I think he is living with it, but everyone else is making an excuse for him. And which I think is outrageous. J. Cole should have just not responded. Everyone's waiting for Drake and Kendrick to go at it. Kendrick was really going for Drake anyway. They're eventually going to butt heads and trade shots and trade diss tracks. And then nobody even remember or care that J. Cole responded anyway. It was barely a shot at him. He should have just not responded, but he did. So he is at fault. I don't feel bad for him for feeling bad. And again, J. Cole frequently says anybody can get it. Anybody who wants to smoke can get it. Somebody was giving you smoke and now you're backing out of it. As a man, yes, I commend him for doing what he did because he knew the backlash he was going to get. He knew it was going to be damaging to his career and he did it anyway. So is it brave that he did what he did and that he stayed true to himself? Yes. But from a hip hop standpoint, this goes against everything that is hip hop. Hip hop is based on competition and ego, and a lot of J. Cole's lyrics are based around competition and ego and him saying the best and being competitive. He can no longer say he's the best rapper. He can no longer say anybody can get these bars. He can no longer say he's in the big three. He can no longer talk about the GOAT conversation. He chose to remove himself from all of that. When he was tested, he backed down. That's just the reality of the situation. He consciously chose to do that. He admitted that he did that. So to argue against like, oh no, blah, 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 it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean what he did isn't brave in a way. It doesn't mean he's less of a man. It doesn't mean that he's not a good rapper. He doesn't make good music. He's going to continue to make good music. He's going to continue to rap well. He's probably, I do think between the three of them, right now, he's the most skilled of the three. He is rapping the best between him, Kendrick, and Drake. But he chose to remove himself from that conversation. He can no longer be in that conversation. That it just is what it is. And I'm going to end this video not with J. Cole and what he did, but with the Cole Capers saying how much they respect J. Cole. And it's not an L, it's a W because he's protecting his spirit and focusing on his mental health and blah, 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 blah. Again, as a man, I do commend him. He knew what the consequences would be and he did it anyway. But two things can be true. What he did can be commendable, but it can also be an L. And trust me, if Drake was the one who did this instead of J. Cole, the same people defending J. Cole would be the first people to jump out of the car and say, Drake's not the GOAT. This isn't hip hop. Drake is scared of Kendrick Lamar. Blah, 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 blah. Drake sucks. Oh man. They'd attack Drake. And that's how you know people never had J. Cole in the conversation to begin with. Because if you're actually the top dog, nobody pities you if you take an L. Nobody would feel bad for you. The people showing all this sympathy for J. Cole are some combination of posturing that they care so much about mental health, never actually thought J. Cole was in the conversation of the big three or the GOAT to begin with, and or they're just diehard J. Cole fans doing damage control. So moving beyond J. Cole and looking ahead, the rumor is that Kendrick Lamar has several diss tracks aimed at Drake ready to go. Future and Metro Boomin are also set to drop their second album, We Still Don't Trust You, on Friday. I wouldn't be surprised if Drake drops a response right before that Future and Metro Boomin album comes out. I wouldn't be surprised if Drake waits until that album comes out before he responds. But Drake is no J. Cole. Drake is always ready to respond. He's always ready for the smoke. At some point, something is going to happen. I think these two are on a collision course. We are going to get a battle between those two, and J. Cole is just going to do his own thing. He's going to drop the fall off. He's probably going to have to rewrite a lot of the fall off because he had a lot of tough talk bars and a lot of saying he's the best rapper, which he could probably no longer say. But I think it's all but a guarantee Drake and Kendrick are going to go at it, so we're just going to have to wait and see how it unfolds. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, please like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. I am Don Chenz, and I will see you all soon.